Okay, everybody. Maxie back with you again. I'm just going to do a little discussion here. Something just came up in my mind. Part of it did. The other part I've been kind of running around my mind for a few months now. Um, but the other part just kind of hit me. I was back in my stash, kind of running through looking for some other projects. And you'll know why here and there. So I'll put up some more videos. But anyway, I've had this body back there that I bought some 5 years ago, maybe 5.5 or so ago. And but when I took it out, and I've not looked at it for maybe since I bought it. I don't remember, but it's always been in the back of my head. This body, I've never forgotten it. Never forgot what it looked like. The style. Apparently, I've forgotten what it looked like, but I've always been trying to figure out what I could do with this body, what I wanted it to look like. And when I was back, I seen the little box sitting there, which is this little box, this little box here. And I seen it sitting there, and of course it brought it back to my mind again. And I'm cutting my hand here, that's where my mouse is. So I got to start thinking about it. Well, then instantly the thought came to my mind of what I could do with it. I instantly knew what I wanted to do with it, which hadn't came for X number of years. So I got my little box, and then I come running out here like a little kid at Christmas, and sit down, open it up, and looked at it, and just my mind was blowing. Just kind of like you knew you had a toy, but you didn't know a pair of socks for Christmas. And when I took this thing out, I got it in Detroit at the very first car show me and my wife ever attended, the very first one I'd ever been to. And I'd always heard by watching YouTube and all these other things, there was this, I don't remember the name, there was this resin guy that made resin, a very well known guy that makes resin. And if I did know the name, I probably wouldn't say it, but I don't know the name, that makes resin parts. Well, he made this body, and I bought it. I thought it was kind of cool. And so I bought that body. And I took it out of the box. I started looking at this thing. And immediately I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this thing? I mean, it is so hideous. So, you would have to just entirely coat the whole thing with Bondo, smooth the entire body. I paid like $60 for this thing. That's no level of mine. The mold lines are, door panel lines are just all crooked and jagged, like you had just drawn them on there with a knife and then just molded this thing. I mean, it's just look at that front end. I mean, where the grill goes. So let's just take a pair of pliers and rip out a hole. I mean, it's just so hideous. I can't get this thing to focus just right, but it's just so hideous that, I mean, what are you supposed to do with this thing? I mean, underneath, it's just unbelievable. You see there where it's neural plastic, where they just grabbed little pliers and ripped off resin. It's just unbelievable. And there's one about the mold lines being all. First again, it's not going to zoom in or focus in rather. Come on, you. Of course, when it does, look halfway decent. Yeah, look at those lines. Come on, you. I don't know what you're supposed to do with something like this. And then the hood's got big holes in the side of the hood. You can see there, you see the hole in the side of the hood. It's just, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. And so that brought me back to the discussion I've had in my mind for a few months now, which is printers. I've been wanting to get a 3D printer now for a couple months, and there's two different kind of printers I've been wanting. I've been wanting to get a resin printer, which prints resin. The resolution is a better quality, I mean, smoother finish than what this is. It's even smoother than that, and it's perfect. There's no, I mean, it's perfect. And then, but it doesn't print real big. It prints 2.5, 3 inches wide by 4 or 5 inches by like 6 inches, 6.5, something like that. It's not big. And then there's the printer that takes the spool and the string and all that crap. So, trying to get technical because I'm not a technical person. So, I was trying to figure out which one I wanted, and the big one that takes the roll, I've seen some people getting pretty decent results, but it seems like there's always kind of lines that you would probably have to, like a good coat of filler primer, you know, like filler primer, going over it, and it's smooth. It's really smooth. So by me having a background in the cabinet shop, I've done all my CAD program designing myself, which I have a half dozen different programs on my computer, and I'm able to, like, say I wanted to model this truck. I have the donor truck for this. I've carried around for X number of years. I could take shots of the actual cab, get a 3D model of that, put it into my program, and just cut off what parts of the body I want, add it back on, and redraw this entire cab correctly in the program, lengthen it, add this section in that needs to be added in, and in the hood, get the mold lines or door seam lines straight. These lines here, which are not straight, this is all crooked. I'm sure it was all done with a putty or something. I'm able to do all that in the CAD program and then just print this out and have a decent print. And then that could just be taken and put a filler primer over it and just paint it as that. Or that could be taken and put a filler primer on it, and I'm assuming you could just put that after it's primed into a mold and mold it. Not sure. Or if not, you could just sand it down a little bit and mold it, or just mold it the way it is and just put a filler primer over it after it's molded. That being said, depending on the size, there is another resin printer that's a little bit bigger than the one I was looking at that this particular body would fit on, depending on how you turn it, angle it. You could print this entire body on that resin printer, and it would turn out just like it was a kit bought body, but without seam lines or injector pin marks. It would turn out pristine. You would just take it, wash it, and paint it. I mean, it would be pristine. So, I mean, it will do. I've seen people that have done spark plugs for 132nd airplanes. That the spark plugs look exactly like a spark plug for a 132nd airplane. I mean, you can't tell it's not a spark plug. So you could do as small spark plugs for a car. You can do carburetors. You can do whatever anybody would want designed. You can do that and have it printed out. You can do custom rims. You can do custom motors. You can do custom whatever and have it done with this. So I'm guessing I'm asking you guys, what do you think of that idea? And yeah, what do you think of the idea? Let me know. It would be another hobby for me. Not necessarily saying that I want to start a business or start selling this stuff, but if anybody would be interested in something down the road, let me know. Because just designing something like this is going to take eons to design and get something done. Because I'm still going to model at the same time, but once I get something designed, it's going to be in the computer, and it's going to be just a matter of saying, print, and it's going to shoot it out over here, and so. But if somebody would say, "Hey, I want a custom whatever made," then that can be done. So I guess I'm just sitting here by myself thinking about this and asking you all what you think, and yeah, just let me know your thoughts and what you think it would be, because this is just total junk, and it's a waste of a bunch of money, and I don't know if it's even worth the time to clean up. I mean, it's just the cab is concave in the center. It's just, I mean, you could lay a ruler down, there'd be a big dip in the center. I mean, it's just a total piece of junk, and I can't believe I ever bought it. I guess it was just the fact that I was at show, this name brand person was at show, this resin, and there was like a whole line of people waiting to get in there to buy this stuff. And he only had X number of whatever's left, and this is all was left that I thought I might like, and I was willing to give him $1,000 for it because whatever reason, and I bought it. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts, and I guess I'll go from there. As well, I want to buy a couple different printers and start messing around with that and make another hobby to go along with this hobby. Well, it would be just expanding this hobby, I guess. So, I mean, any thoughts, guys? Sorry about all the rambling. Just wanted to start a discussion here, I guess, and see where it goes from that. So, if you made it this far, thanks, and let me know what you think.